As the child grows and as you as a parent train that child, then more freedom should be granted to make their own decisions.
But I don't think we should train our children. I feel like you train a dog and not a kid.
I think train is a good word.
I don't want a trained child.
Okay, well I do.
Today I wanted to react to a video that somebody sent me from a popular YouTube channel called Jubilee, where they debate a lot of different topics. And on this specific topic, they were debating different parenting styles and different ways to raise children. And so I thought it would be a good idea to react to it live and provide my input and my thoughts on what the things they were debating about. So let's get to it.
Hi, I'm Hal Chafee. I have 5 kids. I'm a minister, and we live in Maryland.
I'm Christian. I am a birth and postpartum doula, as well as a newborn care specialist. I have 1 daughter who is 7.
Hi, I'm Jenny Atkins. I have 2 daughters. I'm a health coach, and I wrote a children's healthy cookbook.
My name's Wynn. I live in Los Angeles. I have 1 child. I'm a chef, restaurateur, author.
I'm Jody, and I'm the CEO of the Madden House.
8 kids.
And I have 8 children, and I'm from LA.
Hi to everybody. I'm Lenore Skenazy. I'm the mother of 2, and I founded the book, blog, and movement Free Range Kids. Surprise.
Let's see what they got
Children
first.
should be trusted to make their own decisions.
Depends. Look, before they even go into it, I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna put my stance on it. Should children make their own decisions? I think it depends, right? I'm not gonna let my kid decide what they want for breakfast because it was up to them. He would eat cotton candy and junk and all the bad stuff for breakfast, right? But when it comes to like what clothes you want to wear, something like that, that's kind of harmless. Be my guest, right? So I think it depends on the situation. Let's see what they say.
So of course children should make their own decisions. I mean, we're trying to raise them to be responsible adults. If they don't make decisions, they'll never learn.
When my child is possibly going to make a bad decision, what I want to do is not tell him it's a bad decision. I think that's the wrong thing to do, because then ultimately he's probably going to reject that anyway.
Also, it depends on what we're talking about decisions about. Like if it's bedtime and you want your kids to be in bed at 8 o'clock, I think that is up to you. But I remember a time my son called me, he was 10 at the time, and he said, "Mom, can I have another piece of banana bread?" And I thought, I felt bad, because of course that's a very simple decision. They expected that I was the one to decide almost everything about what they were eating and doing, and I felt like there was something wrong, and that actually started me reevaluating things. And can they climb the tree? Just let them climb the tree.
And what's the worst that can happen? They break an arm?
Right, yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. I've definitely climbed my fair
Well, for
share
my
of trees
kids
and
specifically,
jump fences.
she can go outside and play after school, and she can draw, and she can do whatever. But there is a very healthy boundary. Like, we don't have the type of health care that most people have. So like, no, you can't climb the tree. If it's like, oh, I don't want to play violin anymore. But it's like, you're not allowed to quit things that you start, because even as an adult, you become a flaky adult.
Well, you see so many parents nowadays who just like bend to every whim of their child. Children should be trusted to make their own decisions when it is wise for them to make their own decisions. You know, I'm not going to let my 5-year-old decide that he's not going to brush his teeth anymore, because he does. You know, as the child grows and as you as a parent train that child, then more freedom should be granted to make their own decisions.
But I don't think we should train our children. I feel like you train a dog and not a kid.
I think train is a good word.
I don't want a trained child.
Okay, well I do.
I want a child who has creativity and who's
respectful.
maybe not like me.
You know, yeah, I'm not saying it's to be like me.
Do you think you need to train them to be respectful, or do you think that you guide them in a way to learn to be respectful because of the decisions they've chosen?
Both.
I see that. I can see why. Train is a weird word to use when you're talking about kids. It just sounds weird, even though technically it is training. If you teaching your kid to brush their teeth first thing when they wake up in the morning, and put the clothes on and all that, technically it is training. But I think just hearing it say the word training, I'm training my kids. Like, it's just kind of, I guess, off-putting. But I agree with him.
Kids deserve privacy.
For sure. But I think it's to an extent, right? I don't believe that kids should have 100% privacy. Like, if I buy you a phone, you can expect that I'm gonna go in it if I feel like I need to. I'm not gonna just never check it and treat you like you're just a fully adult, like on your own. Especially in today's world with all this digital stuff going on, you can't give your kids 100% privacy. But you also don't want to just invade their privacy. Because I personally believe that kids will get good at hiding stuff if they know that you're the type of parent that's constantly always invading their privacy. They'll find a way to hide something if they really want to hide it. So, yeah, again, depends. Let's see what they say.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
There we go. Oh wait, we have a straggler.
Even though they're not adults, they're still people, and they need time to either hear their thoughts or process things, or just they need a sense of comfort and solitude and things that are sacred to them.
So I don't have any teenagers yet. There's no way.
Just wait.
There's no way.
Maybe my opinion will change.
I mean, there's no way that I'm not going to have access to their cell phone. That's not going to happen.
Right.
But if they want time alone, I think that's fine, and they should have that, and it's healthy to do that. The reason I hesitated is because I think back to my childhood. There were things that happened sometimes that can last with you for the rest of your life. You know, people can be abused online now. So when I have that parent spidey sense of something's not right here, and my kid's gonna be like, no, you can't have my cell phone. Yes, I can.
Right. For sure.
In our household, we live by this kind of thought. Live your life in such a way that if everyone could see what you're doing in private, that you wouldn't be ashamed. So my kids also look through my phone. Privacy is not something a child should be entitled to have.
I feel like that's weird. I'm a fully grown adult. Like, I'm not going to bend to the will of my kid if they want to go through my phone, right? Am I tripping in that? Yeah, let me know. Maybe I'm tripping.
Do we give our kids quiet downtime? Yes. Am
That's
I
crazy.
looking through all their stuff? No.
I actually agree with the definition of downtime and privacy. At my house, there's no privacy because you don't pay any bills. She also trusts me, and I've wanted to make a relationship to where she trusts me that even if she came to tell me, like, there's no yell, I don't yell and I don't scream and I don't do any things like that. We're very open, but there is no privacy.
So I just wanted to put in a plea.
That's kind of weird. You want your daughter to have an open relationship with you where there's trust there, but yet you don't extend them that grace of privacy? I don't see how that could work.
Though, for some privacy. You know, I go around and I talk about free-range kids, and sometimes what I ask the audience is to tell me when something did go wrong. And I ask them, did you tell your parents? What do you think they said?
I don't know.
Why do you think they said it?
Fear.
Fear of what?
Being in trouble, yeah.
You think it's trouble. They said they didn't want their freedom taken away.
I think it's important, though, that we hold our
can see
children
that.
accountable, because in the world, there are plenty of adults who are not held accountable, who've never been held accountable, and they just do things that are terrible.
But most of childhood is little things, and you don't have to be there for everyone, because that's when kids start realizing, I can handle this.
Parents should be parents and not friends.
Parents should be parents and not friends. I personally wouldn't go sit down on that, because I do believe your parents are your friends. Your parents are actually your best friends. What my parents was. Be a parent first, but to be a parent and not be your kid's friend is, I don't know, that's a weird relationship. I feel like you are their friend. Like, well, I know I'm my kid's friend, but I got little kids. I don't know how they're gonna be when they're teenagers. But yeah, hell nah. I'm curious what they gonna say.
No, this is actually hard for me. My job is not to be my kid's friend, it's to be their parent. But I don't think that is mutually exclusive of not being their friend either, if that makes any sense. But I prioritize, right, being the parental unit
Me and my mom, I would say that she's my best friend, but like as a child, she was my mom. And I hope to have that type of relationship with my daughter, but right now I'm the parent and you're the child, because I don't want you to lose respect for me. Like, I'm not gonna go clubbing with my daughter. Like, there's just some things that I'm just not gonna do, that I do with my friends, that I'm not gonna do with my kid.
I get where she coming from with that, but nah. We talking about teenagers. Like, I feel like you your kid's first best friend. So me and my pops had an amazing relationship. Like, man, I didn't got in fights with my pops. You know what I mean? With other people in the street. Like, so like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just different, bro. I would definitely go clubbing with my son, for sure. But I don't think being your kid's friend will make them lose respect for you. I just think you have to always parent first before friend. And I think a lot of people, what they'll do is they don't want to sacrifice the friendship, so they'll put the parent role in the back seat and approach it as a friend. And so I feel like that's where the respect and the lines get all mixed up.
I agree that I'm their mom first, but I'm also their friend. I'm also someone that they trust and admire, and they come to, and I listen to them and I give them my opinions, and we have forged a friendship, but it's not without my position as the authority in their life, their provider, their comfort, their mama.
In my mind, once my kids are 18, or let's just say moved out of the house, they are an adult. And at that point, I want to stop parenting. If I haven't parented enough by the time they're 18, then that was my chance. I don't want to be a parent after 18. And when it comes to clubbing, I hope
I feel like you never stop
that
being a
when
parent, though.
my kid is
But I get
old
what you're getting
and grown up and they're going out for a beer at a bar or whatever they're doing, of course I want to come with them.
But here's the thing, I just want to say on the other side of that is that we never stop growing up. I mean, man, I don't have parents. I wish I did. There's some times where I wish I could just ask for help. I mean, my grandmother just passed away in May. And I remember like just feeling like, what am I gonna do? And that was not a friend moment. That was me hiding like a little child on her lap, weeping and crying and needing that.
Spanking your child is an acceptable form of punishment.
What?
Yeah, I will go sit down with this one. I do believe that spanking your kids is an acceptable form of punishment, but it has to be warranted. You can't just spank your kids because they spilled juice or something like that. I feel like those are that's where the people go wrong with spanking the kids. I feel like you should only spank your kid when they do something that's actually life-threatening, like running the streets or throwing knives or some really, really dangerous. It has to be something along those lines. Just the regular everyday accidents and things that happen, nah. And I say that as someone who grew up in the house regularly getting my ass whooped, because I was a little troublemaker. But yeah, I believe in spankings, man. I'm not against them. Not against them.
But I don't want to get involved at all.
Yeah, this is not.
Do we have to?
We don't have to do it at all.
I don't
Listen,
even
they
want to
cool.
stand back here.
We don't have to, you guys don't have to participate in the conversation whatsoever. Then
That's
people
crazy.
can walk forward, but if you don't want to participate in the conversation whatsoever, you
Let's see
don't
what he
have to.
say. He religious, so let's see what he
yeah,
say.
so I'm kind of saddened that nobody else walked forward, because not only do I think it's an acceptable form of punishment, but I think it's one of the best. And the reason is because it's effective, it's quick, it's over, it's done, and the kid can go off and play again and not have to sit in a corner or languish in a room or something like that. And it's not about getting angry.
Not me. After I got my ass whooped, I had to go lay down, take a nap or something. Those was the best naps though.
I'm mad, I'm gonna whack my kid. No, it's about, okay, you did something you weren't supposed to do, and you're going to get spanked for this.
So I'm going to ask any of my disagreeers who wish to step forward to talk about this.
Let's see what
Please
they
do.
say.
If you wish not to step forward, you don't have to.
The specific anecdote I have is for my child is one time, like, you know, as a parent, you can lose your patience, and that happens. we would just kind of like slap him on the hand when he did something, like, don't do that, don't do that. And I remember one time he did something and he started becoming more self-aware and he started hitting himself on the hand and hitting himself. And I was like, I can't do this. We can't go down this path with him. This is not going to work for at least.
That even what he's saying right now, that kind of ties into what I was getting at earlier, where it's like it has to be something like life-threatening in a sense to where either their life was in danger or they put somebody else's life in danger. It can't just be like regular every day because stuff like that'll happen then.
Typically for him. And I think it's a case-by-case basis too. Like, you know, you've led your kids in a way that hopefully he doesn't lash out into the real world. I don't want him to react like that to someone else either. And I just feel like that's my responsibility, so.
Yeah, and you know, I hear that opponents to spanking will say, I don't want my child to be violent.
Yeah.
You know, I have 5 kids, 10 and under, and the exact opposite is true.
Because do you think it's a bad memory for them?
What's that?
Do you think that they're going to have memories of these times being spanked and that it will be
Sure, and I think they'll
something
be
that
thankful for it. I would do, because
He's right. He's exactly right. He 100%. Like I'm thankful that I got disciplined the way I did for doing what I was doing when it happened. Like for sure, I look back on it now and it's like, oh, it's funny and stuff like that. But I am glad that it happened, and I'm not a angry person, or I don't have bad memories related to getting spankings or nothing like that. So yeah, I gotta disagree with her.
I would be lying if I said I never have spanked my child. Of course but I don't feel good about it. Yeah. Don't you want to raise your child to not want to do things because they feel as if they'll be a better person, not because they're going to be punished for it?
Yeah, both. See, this is hard for me to understand because I come from a culture where everyone, like all my friends, have loving parents that spank them as kids, and now they've grown up to be great well-functional adults who respect their parents and are glad their parents spanked them.
Okay, I'm just gonna say my view. So I don't spank my child, one, because of chattel slavery and Jim Crow. I'm a black person and I live in a world where black people are beaten all the time.
I get it.
I have a mother who spanked me. I'm not glad that I was spanked. I respect her, but I'm not happy about that. Also the same thing with the people who are like, I was spanked, I came out great. They usually have like anger issues, they're violent, they whip their own kids, they probably need therapy. Usually they don't even realize how emotionally fucked up they are.
Well, you gotta understand.
See, I feel like she's projecting right there. Like most people I know, including my siblings and me, we are like happy, healthy people. And like I'm a happy person. So that's not true. That's not true at all. I'm not saying it's not true for everybody. For some people it can be, but I think the majority of people are similar to me. We just thankful for our parents doing what they did, and we just have the ultimate respect for them. So
Understand, parenting is more than just I spank or I don't spank. If you're a terrible parent and you think that spanking is going to fix your kid, you're wrong.
Yep, for sure.
I sometimes fear I'm raising my children the wrong way.
Hell yeah. I feel like that's a normal parenting thing. I feel like that is kind of a sign of a good parent, you know? Always questioning whether you're doing something as good as you possibly can for the betterment of your kid's life, right? Am I feeding them the best food I could give them? Should I give them organic? Should I give them this? Should I put them in this school? Should I do that? Am I spending enough time with them? I feel like good parents always question if they're doing good enough and, is what they're doing working? Yeah, no, for sure. Hell yeah. I'll always question myself.
I think part of parenting is always worrying.
Yep, see?
I mean, as hard as I try to do the right things, there's always doubts in your mind that you've done something wrong.
I love to tell parents, especially new ones, that we're all winging it.
For sure.
We're making mistakes every day, but the good thing about it is that our kids still love us. They still look at us like mommy and their eyes.
Right. Club buddy. Right.
So like parenting is literally just like one huge ass experiment.
For sure.
That's a nice expression.
No manual for
one
it.
huge ass experiment.
Build the plane as you go.
Sure, because I wrote Free Range Kids and I run this Let Grow, and all I can say is that believing in your kids, believing in them, whether you give them a timeout or you're spanking them, believing that your kids have this capacity for being a decent human being, and they're going to make mistakes, they're going to be okay. That's what kids want.
Works.
So, first of all, I think that parents are too hard on themselves. And you know what? Ultimately, your children are going to make their own decisions. For me, I don't wonder about whether or not I'm raising my kids right, because I try to raise my kids according to what the Bible says. And so I have a guide that I fall short fulfilling all the time, but I look to it as my guide. And so just a few simple guidelines, if you follow and you love your kids, you care about them, and you spend time with them, then ultimately they're going to be okay.
Yeah.
I just love my kids so much, and I give them 110%. One of the neat things that I'm giving my kids that's a little bit different is a mother and father who are married and faithful to one another, which I didn't have that. And so it makes me feel really good that I'm giving them that. I know that I'll never just be totally set in my ways and be unwilling to change and to become a better mother. So I will never give up growing myself.
Yeah. That's real.
The one piece of parenting advice I give everyone is don't listen to all the advice, because the beautiful thing about parenting is not what you're teaching your child, but sometimes what you're learning with your child.
I think we all just
Growing
want the
dad.
same things. Everybody
Growing with
wants
'em.
their children to be confident and secure in their love.
It's just a lot of fun to have kids.
For sure.
And I always tell people, I said, if you want to be a happier person, have more kids, because kids are just so much fun.
Sure.
Group hug, yay!
That was a cool debate. Good points. Good topics. For sure. Yeah, and see, the thing about parenthood is there's no right or wrong answer. It's like they said, everybody is just winging it and giving advice to other people on what worked for them. And it may work for you, it may not. That's a beautiful thing about parenting. But this was good. This was cool. I look forward to doing some more of these. Y'all let me know, what is y'all parenting style? Are you a strict parent? Do you spank your kids, or do you agree with some of these things, or what? Y'all let me know in the comments. See y'all in the next one.